Right. We even have people from India. That's lovely. Right. So, welcome everyone. Welcome to the Republic of Work Lunch and Learn series. All of these webinars are held every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. and cover a variety of topics that all businesses, all professionals can learn from. And you can find all upcoming webinars on the Republic of Work website under What's On. And that will be republicofwork.com. So hopefully you'll be joining a few more webinars every week. I find them very, I usually attend these webinars or the talks in the Republic of Work, and I find them extremely inspiring and very, very uplifting as well. So today we're going to talk about efficient goal setting and how to build your vision and mission with the help of efficient goal setting, right? Just to make sure that the goals you set for yourself or for your business serve you best and don't really get in the way even, or just to make sure that all these goals are aligned with what you want from life and where you want to be in a couple of years, where you want to be in a couple of months, and kind of bring out the best in you and make sure that that these goals are part of a direction that suits you and that you want for your life or for your business. So let's get started. I hope this works now. I just have to now. So what we're going to explore today is how to create a clear vision and a strong mission that will get you up to that vision, really. We will have a look at aligning your goals to serve you best, to bring out the best in you, to bring out the best in your business, and obviously to get you closer to your vision, to what you want from life. How to set goals efficiently, to use your time, finances, and energy efficiently, right? So if you set a goal and pursue a goal, it often happens that, we waste a lot of time on it, or that it doesn't really mean that much to us. So this is why we're going to talk about efficient goal setting today. Then we will also explore what enables you to achieve your goals. So we will look at you as a person, because you are basically the agent when it comes to pursuing your goals, of course. So you are part of the whole goal setting process as well. So it's not only about the logistics of goal setting. And we will also quickly touch on which distractions keep you from going for your vision. So I would like to invite all of you to maybe even have a pen and paper ready, because, well, unfortunately, it's not a workshop, so I won't have the time to really coach you on this goal setting strategy or formula that I'm gonna introduce to you. But maybe some of you might want to already take some notes, and not notes on what I say, but more taking notes on what ideas come to you. And maybe, when we talk about the vision, etc., that you maybe want to brainstorm a little bit on that. Right. So I would like to obviously introduce myself as well before we get into the content. My name is Dana. I am an accredited life and career coach and workshop facilitator, and I founded my own business, my own coaching and training business, Dana Fulles Coaching, early last year. So I help business owners, young professionals, people to find their direction, set goals that mean something to them, that mean, that are purposeful and meaningful to them, and also work on an authentic strategy to achieve them and to go for it, and to go for what they really want in their business, career, and life. So just a little bit about myself, just to give you a bit of background on what makes goal setting so important to me. I like really since my A levels, I have been a bit all over the place. And when I say a bit, it's not really only a bit. I was very lost throughout the last years, like from my A levels really until, you know, or throughout my studies at university. I was quite confused in 3 jobs. I just didn't have any direction. What I usually did was whatever I heard from other people, I would just do that as well. I would just go for whatever other people thought would be good for me. I would just go for whatever was easiest as well. So I made a lot of random decisions, and I'm not saying, you know, they didn't get me anywhere, but they did get me quite exhausted over the years. And especially after my 3rd full-time job, that still, you know, completely stressed me out, and that didn't really suit me, and that just yeah, didn't really bring out the best in me, to be honest. I said to myself, okay, I have to sit down now and see what my options are and what the solution to that is, because I got so frustrated, I got so stressed. I always felt like I couldn't really be myself, be it at university, be it in my job, in my career, even in my personal life. So it did affect all areas of my life. So I started working with a coach, and that was about 2 years ago now, I think. And we started working on my vision. So basically looking at what I wanted from the future. And I had never thought about that. Like, this was just never something that was important to me. I never really reflected on that. So this was the first time I really got into that and really got thinking about what I wanted. And since then, with my 9-to-5 life, and I started my own business, I now want to open a little guest house as well. I want to grow my business into an online business. So goal setting really, and building my vision really helped me to feel satisfied again and to be motivated again. So whenever you feel like, you know, you're just super restless and lost, and you don't have the motivation to do anything, it is probably because you're lacking, like there's a lack of vision, there's a lack of knowing where you want to go, be it in your business or be it in any other area of your life. So this brings me to kind of the first point of our webinar today. So what makes goal setting so important? Because our lives are so busy, right? Our lives are so full with tasks, with to-do lists, with distractions, right? We all know the distractions nowadays. Life is so full with everything. So it is very hard to not get lost, right? So you probably know the feeling when a week passes by and you're like, oh my goodness, it's Friday, and my head is still in Monday morning mode, kind of. So this is just how life happens, and goal setting is so important because it gets you closer to your vision, and will give you direction and prevent you from spending all of your time, money, and energy on things that don't really mean anything and that just drain your energy, right? So goal setting is not something like a contract that just ties you down to something and just make sure that you get your to-do list done. It is to lead you to a more fulfilling and satisfying life and also business, right? Because the more satisfied and fulfilled you feel, the more successful you're going to be. So before we get into efficient goal setting, let's have a quick look at what makes goal setting inefficient. So this is all based on my experience. This is all based on my work with clients, on the work that I did on myself. So feel free to add something to it. Feel free to maybe leave some of your thoughts in the chat, just for the others to see as well. So I call it the just do it lie. A lot of people, and this is what I used to say as well, when it comes to goals and achieving goals, setting goals, a lot of people say, yeah, just do it, just go for it. What I learned over the past few years is that if you want to make a goal efficient and meaningful, there is a bit of planning and preparation involved. You need to sit down and reflect on it and see, okay, is this really what I want? Where does this get me? So what kind of value does that goal add to my life? So just to give you a quick example, let me think. Yeah, so for example, if I go for a promotion that just randomly came up and I'm just like, oh yeah, like this is, you know, it's completely impulsive. I'm like, yeah, this is more money. I'm just gonna go for that. That's the kind of just do it attitude, just jumping in without really thinking about, okay, is this actually a goal that gets me where I want to be? And all of a sudden you find yourself completely off track because all of a sudden you're in a job that you might not even enjoy and you only did that for the money maybe because that was so attractive to you in that moment. So yeah, I'm talking about the just do it impulsive behavior. Then there's another side to just do it as well. So sometimes, you know, when your motivation is low, when your energy is low and you're like, no, I just need to get started on that now. I just need to achieve that now. I just need to finish that now. I'll just do it, you know? So this is usually also a sign of, yeah, that there is a lack of motivation. And I find it very important to have a look at where that lack of motivation comes from. Because if you have to force yourself too much to complete tasks and to pursue goals, then it might not be the right goal. Then it might be what I call a wrong goal, an unauthentic goal that, you know, that you probably have adopted from someone else. So I did that when when I finished my A levels, for example, I just went to university because everyone did it. I just didn't really, I don't know, like that was just my goal. I was just like, yeah, university because everyone does that. So this would be a wrong goal in you know, in my perspective. So a wrong goal would be something that is not in line with what you want, but something that gets you off track rather than getting you closer to what you want from life and how you want your life to look like in a few years. Self-limiting beliefs make goal setting very inefficient, in my opinion, because
I think you might not have the presentation on the right screen. It's just on the first slide at the moment.
oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
oh no, sorry about that. Let me see. So I just stop sharing and I just share again now. Can you see it now? Can you see?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Is it? Hang on, I just see if I can go back.
So it's what makes goal setting inefficient. The
Yeah.
just do it wrong goals. Yeah, it's that
Can
one.
you see? Can you see all four now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I go back now. All right.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. So self-limiting beliefs. If you set goals based on what you feel like you can't achieve. So for example, if you feel like, you know, you get that thought of, okay, I want to write a book. And then that self-limiting belief kind of comes in of like, oh, I don't really have any experience in writing. I don't really, you know, like maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe the book won't be good enough. So you kind of just settle for setting a goal, like, or maybe I just want to do a bit of, you know, a bit of writing for the company I work for. Maybe I just want to write an article and that's it. So this is kind of settling for something that doesn't make you live up to your full potential, because there's a limiting belief in the back of your mind while you're setting goals. So be very aware of which beliefs are limiting you and which ones would be empowering you, right? So it is very beneficial to work on the limiting beliefs first before you actually get into setting a goal for yourself for the next few weeks, for the next few months. Then there's also a lot of misconceptions around goals and goal setting and vision building. So a lot of people and a lot of clients that I actually work with, when they first come to me, they kind of say, oh no, I'm not a big fan of setting goals because it kind of feels like it ties me down. It just feels like I have to stick with that, and it doesn't give me that kind of flexibility and freedom that I need. And people, and this is kind of what tells me that a lot of people feel like that as soon as you set a goal, this is it. This is like a contract you cannot get out of. And then you get very frustrated because if you don't achieve it, or if you want to change it or whatever, it just feels like you failed. It feels like you're letting yourself down. Same with a vision. Sometimes when I ask people, what's your vision for the future? What do you want from life, let's say, next year? How would you love your life to look like? How would you like your business to look like at that stage? People just say, look, I don't even think about that because I don't want to take any opportunities away from me. I don't want to be too focused on that one vision that I set for myself. So what I always say then is a vision grows with you. So a vision is not something that is one, how do you call that? One, you know, it is not something that cannot change. Like it's not something completely, how do you say that? I'm missing the word for that now, but you know what I mean, right? It is about a vision not being a fixed image. It is about, it is something for you that grows with you. So you will meet people along the way, you will make new experiences, your circumstances will change. So your goals and your vision will change with that. So it is allowed to change goals. So you just have to trust yourself that this is not, that you're not doing that, that you're not changing goals or changing your vision just to make it easier for you, or because you're kind of trying to pull out. You are changing them because you have changed them, because some things have changed in your life, and maybe along the way you have discovered something new for yourself. So you adjust your path, you adjust your vision. So this is what makes goal setting inefficient. To have that kind of misconception of, oh no, I don't want to tie myself down now to that one goal because I could not change it, because you can. I just see if you can see the next. I'm sorry, I think my slides were not exported properly. I hope you can see all, like, I hope you can see the internal and external goals slide now. Is that okay? Can someone just give me, yeah, perfect. So when we talk about goals, what a lot of people don't know is that we have internal and external goals. So internal goals are the goals that don't really have an endpoint. These are the goals that you will keep pursuing and you will keep achieving them. And they're like an internal drive and an internal compass for you. So internal goals are usually guided by values. So if I just give you an example on internal goals, if you have a business with a few teams, with a good few employees, and your value is, okay, a good, like, I want that my team is well gets on well. I want my team to always be able to communicate openly. This is an internal goal. This is something that will never have an endpoint, because you will always have to work on that. And you will keep achieving it in that sense, right? Because there's so many shapes to it and so many ways to achieve that internal goal. But it doesn't have an endpoint. So this is kind of like your inner drive. Like this is your value. This is a value that will determine a lot of your decision and your behavior, your actions within the business or within your career or personal life as well. External goals are the things that you achieve and they have an endpoint. So like a graduation, like getting that promotion, like that career change. So there's always that one endpoint to it. So that is important to keep in mind too, that goal setting is mainly about external goals. And we will mainly talk about goal setting for external goals today, but keep in mind that there's internal goals too that will help you to get to your vision. So internal goals can also be aligned to what you want from the future. So this is an image that I really, really like, because this really helped me a good while ago to declutter my thoughts on, okay, what's next? What's the next step in my business? What's the next step in my career? And where am I actually going? Where do I actually start? So quite often, I feel like we don't like talking about goals, and we don't like setting goals because we don't even know where to start. So it feels like it's this huge mountain in front of us. And then we just get frustrated before we even started, before we even did something to achieve our dreams, to work towards what we want. So I just use this mountain image now to make it easier, to imagine what an efficient goal setting strategy would look like. So at the top of the mountain, so if you just imagine that huge mountain in front of you. So at the top of that mountain, there's your vision. I always call it, it's like a peephole into your future. So at that stage of the goal setting, and this is before you even set specific goals, you start thinking about, what do I want my life, what do I want my business to look like in, let's say, 5 years. I like using 5 years because this is still kind of, it's close enough, but it's also kind of quite far away. So there's a lot of, I still have a lot of room to change that around whenever I want to. So if you just write down 1 or 2 things that you're like, yeah, these are the things that I want in my life in about 5 years. This should be part of my vision, because this is something that I just want to see myself in. So when I talk about vision, it should include all areas of your life. How do you want to feel? Who's going to be with you? What kind of job will you be doing? What are you going to be doing all day? And when you think about your business, where do you see your business in 5 years? Is it still going to be the same as now? Is it going to be very different? And the good thing about your vision is this is just for you. So not saying that it's a secret, but there's no rules to it, like you don't have to think about how realistic it is right now and whatever. This just gives you a direction. So even if you just write down the feeling that you want to have in a couple of years, or even a couple of things that you want to look back on. So this is your vision. The next one is your mission. So if you want to achieve, if you want to get up to a vision, if you want to get up that mountain, you are on a mission, right? And you need to create that mission for yourself. The mission consists of your goals, and your goals consist of your tasks. And both of them, obviously, like the tasks are aligned to your goals, and the goals then are aligned to your vision. So if just to give you the example of when I worked with my coach, I said to her 2 years ago that in 5 years, I would like to run an online business helping people, but I want to be very flexible as well. So I want to be very independent. I want to be able to, I don't know, go somewhere the next day, literally without having any kind of other responsibilities from a job and things like that. So, and this kind of showed me, okay, maybe pursuing a career in a job that doesn't give me a lot of freedom and flexibility would not be the right goal to get me closer to that vision. So this is when I started to rethink and to think about, okay, so what would be the next step? What would be the next goal that gets me up there? And then when we imagine ourselves at the bottom of that mountain, so literally today, let's say, we're starting off working towards our mission, our vision. As I said at the very start, goal setting is not about just the logistics. We will go through the logistics now in a minute, but I want you to really see that you are so important, that your resources, what enables you, what you believe in, what your strengths are, what your core values are essential to get you up there. Because it's like, you know, someone hiking, that person will have to have things that that support him or her to get up that mountain, right? You can't go up there when you're tired. You can't go up there when you don't have the right gear. So it is essential if you want to achieve your goals and if you want to move closer and closer to your vision, that you are set up for success as well. So this is why I would like you to imagine it like a backpack. So what are you gonna bring on your journey? What is needed? What do you need to achieve your goals? What is needed to move up and up and up, slowly but surely? So the first one would be empowering beliefs. We quickly touched on self-limiting beliefs. If you do not empower yourself, it's going to be very hard, because if you just let yourself hold back from, I'm going to say that. If you allow self-limiting beliefs and maybe even other people's opinions to hold you back, because you will have a lot of people that will tell you that something is not possible, and you will often tell yourself that something's not possible. But if you're not empowering yourself, if you do not believe in that journey, if you do not believe that you're well able to pursue this kind of life, then who will? You know, it's going to be a lot harder for you. And this is often where the journey sometimes already stops. The next ones would be your core values. I also touched on them. Think about what is most important to you in life. What drives all of your decisions? What is kind of always in the back of your mind when you do something, or when, you know, when you set a goal, when, you know. So for me, this would be, my core values are, for example, authenticity and independence, courage as well. So you can kind of see, like, when you look back, you will see that there are a good few values that have always been with you and that kind of always show in your behavior. And those are also the values that will help you to not get off track on your journey up to your vision. Okay. Then we have enablers. Enablers are all the things, all the people that support you, right? So when we talk about, okay, there's that vision that my client had last year. He said he would like to be an author one day. he would like to make a living from his articles, from his books, but he has never written an article. He has never written a book in his life. So again, we have to start really at the bottom of the mountain and look at ourselves first. So what enables you to get started? Like, what's the first step and what do you need for that? So he said, I don't know, like I need inspiration. Like I need to get inspired first so I can at least start on the first page. And for him, the inspiration was to go on road trips or to go traveling. And he said, and sometimes the inspiration would even come from just sitting somewhere on a bench and just, you know, looking at things and just trying to describe these things. So I found that extremely interesting because everyone has different enablers, everyone has different things that support them. So for him, it was that, and it enabled him to get started on the first goal, on writing the first page of his first book. Okay, so, and it's the same for you. And last but not least, what you will bring on your journey and what you should always have with you is the knowledge of what your strengths are. So if I told you now, okay, I'd like you to write down 10 strengths you have, it might be a bit difficult for you because we're not really used to thinking about our strengths all the time, and we couldn't just list them like that. And to be honest, we all probably have about 250, 300, 350 strengths, and we already struggle saying 10 of them. So when we look at goal setting again in terms of our strengths, if we know our strengths, we know how to achieve goals quicker and how to use our resources. Our strengths are our resources. So it's like, I don't know, if we say, what kind of example could I give for that? If you don't use the right tools to build something, it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a bit difficult and it's going to be a bit disheartening. So, and it's the same with your strengths, like they're your tools, like they support you in everything, they make everything easier, okay? So this is why it's important as well to have that in your backpack to get ready and set yourself up for success and for achieving your goals. So just to summarize that again, and I'll have a quick look in the chat before we move on. Yeah, I think we sorted the slides. Yeah, I'll get back to all that later on. So vision versus goals versus tasks. There's a lot of confusion around, okay, what is a goal? What is a vision? What are tasks? A lot of people say, okay, I have the goal to finish this project or to get that project done. And this is really only a task that is part of a bigger goal. So the vision is always on top, right? The vision is always kind of like your North Star. This is always your guidepost for everything. Your vision is supported by your goals, which is what we said, you know, with the mountain. And the goals will be achieved by completing tasks. So if we take that book example again, his vision was to be an author, right, in a couple of years' time, and have sold a good few books to make a living from his books. Then the goals for that would be, first of all, starting the first page of his first book, then finishing his book, then starting the next one, then starting promoting the books. Okay, so those are the goals. And the tasks for that, so the task for writing the first page of his book is, first of all, deciding on, okay, will I do a quick brainstorm before I start writing? Or will I just start writing the task would be to get your laptop, sit down and get started on it until the goal is achieved, that the first page is done. Okay, so I hope this example helps a little bit to transfer that to your goals, to your vision. And your tasks are supported by your beliefs, by your strengths, by your enablers, by your values. So with that backpack that we just talked about, okay? So when you have all of these sorted for you, when you have good knowledge of all of them, it will be so much easier to complete these tasks. And as soon as you complete the tasks, you will achieve the goals, and the goals then will always be the next milestone up to your vision. Right. The next part of efficient goal setting, and some of you might have heard of obviously the SMART goals. I have modified that a little bit because I always felt like there was something missing to the SMART goals. So I added a little bit to it. And this is really when the efficient goal setting part comes in, because playing your SMART cards, as I call it, will help you to efficiently use your time and your finances and your energy to to set a goal that actually makes sense and that will support you in the very best way. So this is the moment when you can just take a few notes for yourself as well already while I go through the SMART cards tool with you. Send me a quick email. You will have my email on the very last slide now later on. And I'll send that on to you. So if you want that as a PDF, I can send that on to you as well. So the first part is probably quite familiar to most of you. So you write down a goal. So what's your goal, let's say, for next week? What do you want to have achieved by next week? That will get you closer to a life that, that you would really want. So write that down. And then we're going to make it specific. So we will think about now, okay, what exactly do I want to achieve? So for me, I'll just take the guest house now, okay? So for next year, and that's my vision, I want to have a summer of, hosting guests in like a little log cabin. That's the vision. The goal behind that now is, I'd say for the next couple of weeks, I would like to decide on a provider, someone that, is affordable enough for me, that is, someone that I will feel very comfortable with, so I can start planning. So being specific on that now, I write down, I want to have decided on one provider that meets the requirements X, Y, and Z. Okay. Then a goal should be measurable. How will you know you have achieved it? So if a goal is too vague, you're going to get frustrated very easily because it just won't really have an endpoint. It won't really have, you won't really know when you're actually successful with that. So write down how you measure the success of that goal, the achievement of that goal. Then a goal should be achievable. So how realistic is it? And I'm not talking about downgrading your goal. Like I'm always for courageous goals. I'm always for aiming high, but achievable in a sense of, if I say by next week, I want to have that log cabin built, like this is not achievable. It's just not physically possible, right? So write down a few points on, okay, this is achievable. Or even sometimes I use this as an affirmation. I'm like, okay, how achievable is this? Other people have done that before, so why couldn't I do it? So sometimes I even write down notes like that to really give me that boost as well. Then a goal needs to be relevant. And this is when the vision is important again. How important is it actually? This is a bit of a reality check. Is it really relevant? Do you really want this right now? Is this something that is aligned with your vision, with what you want? You know, what you want from the future? Time. How long is it going to take? When do you want to start? Like, when do you think it's going to be achieved? So give yourself a little time frame on that, and also how much time you want to spend on it. How much of your time will you have to spend on that? So you see, like, it's getting a lot clearer now. Instead of just saying, yes, I want to do that, all of a sudden you drill down on, you know, the different components, the different factors of that goal, and it'll become a lot more real. And this is what I added, really. This is the cards, the smart cards. How courageous is it? How does it kind of get you out of your comfort zone a little bit? Because I feel like that real growth only happens, you know, you only take the next step that gets you further up when there's a bit of courage involved. So what makes this a courageous goal? How brave does it feel? Or does it kind of feel a little bit too easy? And if it feels too easy, just kind of try to upgrade it, okay? Even for your business. Like, well, as long as it doesn't have any, you know, huge financial risk involved. But when you feel like, okay, actually, I can do a bit more, like we can push this a little bit more. How can I make this a brave step for me? Okay. The next one would be a goal should be, a goal should have a certain amount of accountability for you. So how do you make sure you do it? How are you going to hold yourself accountable? A lot of people would say that they have an accountability body, they talk to someone, they team up with someone. Other people say they just need to write it down. They write down every progress. Something that is very good for accountability is something like, you know, what I'm doing today. Like, I always wanted to do a webinar. I'm only used to workshops, kind of. I don't really do that many webinars. So I was like, that'll be a nice challenge now to see how that goes. Because I work with the comments that come in from people throughout a workshop, and in a webinar, I don't have that much. And how I held myself accountable for that now was literally, there is a date. So there is a set date, there is an appointment that I have to, there is a deadline that I have to meet. So this is a nice accountability factor as well. How are you going to reward yourself? So before you even start working on a goal, make sure you already have your reward set. And when I say reward, let's not only talk about, oh yeah, just achieving the goal will be a reward for me, but think about something nice you're going to do for yourself. It doesn't have to cost money. It can. It doesn't have to. But what are you going to reward yourself with? Will it be a day off? Will it be, I don't know, like what I usually do is going to the spa for half a day, or going for a nice swim, especially after, you know, a stressful time. So what's the reward? So pick something that you would really look forward to, that you will reward yourself with on top of achieving the actual goal. Now, distractions. What could distract you from achieving your goal? So here, I would like you to write down what just can't get in your way. So if you're aware of your distractions beforehand, you will know when it happens. So for example, if you feel like, okay, maybe this habit that I have will distract me a lot. from pursuing this and that. So for example, if your goal is to get fit for a marathon, right, to run a marathon, a distraction would really be, for example, going out too much. It would really just not really help you. It would not support you in achieving that goal. So in having it written down will, you know, keep you aware of that. And then last but not least, and we talked about that, is which specific strengths will really help you with that specific goal? Which strengths will you really lean into to get to where you want to be next week, in 2 weeks, whatever your goal is? Okay. So those were the smart cards. As I said, feel free to send me an email, and I'll send it onto you as a PDF, just so you can go through it for yourself again in peace. Right, and before we slowly close this webinar, I just want to show, or I just want to share a few more tips and tricks with you on how to efficiently achieve your goals. So this is sharing. For me, the more I talk about a goal, the more I talk about my vision in general, the more really it becomes for me, the more excited I also get. So this is usually where I really get a motivation push from. And I love then when, I don't know, for example, when my friends ask me about it or ask about the status of something, you know, and I'm like, yeah, I actually have news, and it's actually nice to see that I have completed a few tasks and that I have achieved a few things to get closer to that. So it is nice to share. So get into the habit of sharing more and not only keep it to yourself all the time. Partner up. So work with someone on something. So if you feel like, you know, if you're in your business and you feel like you would like to host an event, but you've never hosted an event, maybe a networking event or whatever, see who you can partner up with. See who maybe has some experience in it, or I don't know, like someone that's kind of in that whole thing with you. It's going to be a lot easier then to achieve that goal, instead of only motivating yourself and only working on it for yourself. Taking breaks from goal setting and pursuing your goals is extremely important. Life is not all about just achieving and kind of digging through your to-do lists. It's not. So give yourself a couple of days per month to just not think about anything that you want for the future, and be mindful and be present. Some people need that every day. Some people say, no, I like my meditation or yoga or something like that, or my sports kind of every day, to just be in the present moment. Don't get addicted to goal setting and achieving your goals. It'll happen naturally when the goals are right, and when you have efficient goals. And remember as well that you're well able to achieve goals. Remember all the times you have achieved something. Remember that you have what it takes, because you have done something like that before. Maybe not the exact same thing, but you have achieved things that at the start you wouldn't have thought you would achieve. So remembering is very important. And also remember that biologically you're made to achieve goals. You're made to pursue goals. So I just want to quickly read that out to you. So research from neuroscience suggests that our brains use the neurotransmitter dopamine as an internal guidance system to reach goals. A study showed that the dopamine signal in the brain gets stronger as the goal gets closer. It's sort of a Marco Polo effect that influences choices made to direct action toward a goal, and adjust expectations about how close or how far away the goal really is. So your biology is already, you know, like targeting, like your biology already wants to set goals and achieve those goals. So you have that as well to support you. So keep that in mind. That really helps me sometimes. So just a quick summary before I want to answer any questions you might have. So to me, efficient goal setting is aligning your tasks to your goals and your goals to your vision, and knowing what your vision is, and then everything comes after that. The second part of efficient goal setting is get yourself ready. Like, you are that resource that will get you up that mountain. So make sure you know your values, make sure you know your strengths and utilize them. Get all the things ready that enable you to get up that mountain, and make sure that your beliefs are empowering instead of limiting. And the second one is the one that makes it very specific and that really drills that goal down to a few important factors to consider, which is playing your smart cards. So using that tool and planning and preparing. So yeah, so thank you so much for listening. I will go through your questions now in a minute. I offer half an hour coaching sessions, boost coaching sessions for all of you, for all participants today that would like to explore their goal setting strategy a little bit more with me, and with a few coaching questions from my side, with a little push from my side. So if you feel like signing up for that, just send me a quick email, just maybe with your story, I don't know, just so I kind of know what we're talking about, and we'll set up a goal setting coaching call for 30 minutes with you. And it'll be very interesting for me then, of course, to see, like, you know, what kind of ideas that brought up for you. I really hope this was helpful. I am going to have a quick look at the chat. Yeah, the slides, I'm pretty sure, like, this was recorded. The webinar was recorded, so you can have a look at the webinar again if you feel like you missed something. The slides, I'm pretty sure you can get them as well, or just send me a quick email at grow@danafulles.coach, and I'll send them on to you as well. That's no problem. Yeah, and other than that, someone says not a limiting factor. Yes, we can also look at limiting factors and not only limiting beliefs. Those would be distractions. I feel like those are the factors that would distract me from reaching my goal. So I don't know, there don't seem to be any other questions. Anyone else that has any questions? See that as a starting point, as a bit of inspiration. And I hope you could take some, you know, like even a few bits and pieces with you today. And maybe that got you thinking. Or someone says, okay, we have 2 more minutes left. How to align our internal goals with external goals? That's a very good question. The thing is, internal goals will always be the foundation of your external goals as well. So as I said, internal goals, for example, you know, for me, independence is a core value of mine. This will always be an internal goal that I will always pursue, be it in my career, be it in my personal life. Being independent will always be an internal goal. And that is reflected in my external goals. So all of my external goals will have that part included, you know. They will always help me to maintain my independence, if that makes sense. I know that sounds a bit, maybe that sounds a bit wishy-washy. Perfect, thanks. The Marco Polo effect. That is, unfortunately, I'm running out of time now, guys. I don't want to read more on that. Just Google the Marco Polo effect on Psychology Today. I think they have an extra article on that as well, which I find very interesting. There's a few interesting things on goal setting. Okay, right. Any other questions, pop me an email. I'd love to hear from you all. Don't forget to sign up for your free 30 minutes goal setting session with me. And I hope I will see you all very soon. Okay?
Thank you, Dana. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Bye. Take care. Bye, everybody.
For joining. Bye.